Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I would like to say that we appreciate your participating here in our event. We will talk about Albania, dictatorship history, human rights, arts, democracy, and so on. I would like to introduce you with our panel, Mr. Dritan Gremi. He's the creator of this kind of tourism in Albania, the dictatorship tourism. Ms. Manjola Bregasi, she's an Albanian journalist, part of our team, and Mr. Steven Rada, he's also part of our team, he's a coordinator. Now, slowly, Ms. Manjola will start to explain you what is all this about through a PowerPoint presentation, and let's hear her.
Okay. I think this is a special part of our history related to what we have, all the Albanian people have passed during communism. Let's see. Now, if you came in Albania today, you will find sun, hospitality, young people, really a European city. And in the middle of Europe, of course. But our country is now a European Union candidate. These are some places you can visit: the sea, the mountains, the nightlife, a metropolitan city, let's say a modern country. But do you know, when I was born, that I'm in front of you, I speak English, I speak Italian, but when I'm born, my country was the closest country in all the Europe. During 40 years, we have been under Enver Hoxha regime, the toughest dictatorship in all the eastern countries. Borders were closed, people were forbidden to go outside the country, and the foreign were forbidden to enter. It needs a special permission to enter in Albania or to go outside. This is what I told about. Also, the people were poor, a toll on food, a ban on free trade, and the most terrible thing was the war between classes. Some people who were not communist, who were thinking different from the system, were called enemies. Even even the friends of our dictator were killed by him. And now our system is called, let's say, matched only by Kim Jong-un, North Korea. And every citizen was spied by communism, by government. Another part of our system were the labor camp and the prisons for political people, for intellectuals, for artists who saw different, who were not agree with communism. And during this period, the regime spent $2.2 billion to construct bunkers and fortification. Who was the enemy? No one. The enemy was in the head of our dictator. These are these bunkers that now I will tell you what will happen. And during this period, 146 artists were convicted and killed by the communist system. Also, 5,000 politically executed, and we had 35,000 political prisoners. Kokalari was a very well-known intellectual, writer, who was sent in jail, in prison, and who died alone by dictator himself. They say that he asked to marry her, our dictator, but she didn't agree. And so, for this, and for her political ideas, he was prisoned, and she was all her life had been, let's say, persecuted. Now we want to learn from the past, and we want to give the message that the dictatorship, it's not the way that the world needs to follow. So we have returned in museums and in memory spaces some of the dictatorship symbol places. Do you know, here it's a chair. This chair is, you can find it today in Bunkart, one of our museum related dictatorship. During communism, this chair has been in our airport. If you were a German, an Italian, a Belgian, an European citizen, and you are coming in Albania, but you had long hair, you had to sit in this chair, to cut your hair.
Or beer.
Or beer, yes, to cut your hair and beard, and then to enter in our country. It was forbidden to enter in Albania with long hair during this period. So, House of Leaves, it's another museum, very interesting and very let's say popular, because it's the house, the place where the regime was spying, let's say, every citizen who has different political ideas would go in prison. By spying everyone, it happens that the best friend had spied his friend, the wife had spied her husband. Here also are some part of Bunkart Museum, one of ex-fortification of Interior Ministry, organized for atomic war, but who had never been used, and now returned in a museum space. Here is the artist house. It's a dedication for all the artists that had been killed and imprisoned during regime. This is a place in the center of Tirana. It's the house of a well-known painter in Tirana, Agimrada. All the murals that you see are symbol of our history, and in this house you will find also documents, photo and other elements related to the life of artists executed and killed during dictatorship. And here is Oja's, our dictatorship's ex-house, former residence. He had a modern residence in the times when the people was poor. Now this house is in the center of block, one of the most popular, most dynamic areas in Tirana, where you can find nightlife, you can find young people, but in this era it was a closed zone. Tepelenas camp, it's another place when have been prisons, when had been interned a lot of families, a lot of people who had different ideas from communism. They say that there are 100 graves, but they say that the number of people, of child that died in this camp was 600 people.
One of the special things about this camp is that to the prisoners that they were feeling sick or something like that, they denied medical help or medical care. So it's very savage and not human.
And this is the most terrible symbol of Albania, the Spac prison. Here a lot of people had worked, here a lot of people had died, here a lot of people had suffered from the violence during the communism time. This is the symbol of suffer. Now it's a culture monument and it is visited from a lot of tourists.
Okay.
Very well. Okay, with the fall of Berlin Wall, Albania also has the communism in Albania has also fallen. And what is the message that we want to give today is the fact that by touching and living through the consequences of dictatorial systems, we Albanians are convinced that today the democracy is the way that will move forward the world. We have to choose democracy. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Dritan would like to say and to explain how did he come out with this idea, why, when, where he wants to get with all of this that he created.
Okay, so my English is not very, very good, so Anna helped me to translate. Para se gjithësh, unë ju falenderoj gjithë që keni ardhur.
First of all, thank you for participating here.
Është kënaqësi që t'ju kemi këtu.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Do mundohem t'ju tregoj dhe t'ju shpjegoj kush ideja e turizmit diktaturës, sepse dëgjuar pak kështu është e çuditshme edhe për veshin për ta dëgjuar dhe për ta.
He will explain what is the dictatorship tourism, because even when someone hears this word, it's a little bit strange for our ears.
Por unë besoj që sot më shumë se kur e kaluara është shumë e rëndësishme për të kujtuar, dhe asnjë vend më mirë se Shqipëria, ose më mirë në asnjë vend më mirë se Shqipëria, këtë gjë nuk do të mund ta gjeni të gjithë, për arsye se Shqipëria ka përjetuar 45 vite, plot 45 vite në terrorin e diktaturës, dhe kjo diktaturë kalon gjurmë të mëdha gati në gjithë vendin, duke kthyer Shqipërinë në një muzeum, le të themi, në qiell të hapur për sa i përket këtyre objekteve të diktaturës.
Nowadays, it is very important to remember the past, to learn from it, and Albania is a country that that offers this thing. We have had 45 years of totalitarianism, full isolation of the country, and all these years, all this period, and this kind of system have left marks all over the country. And today, Albania, regarding this kind of tourism, may be called an open tourism. You can see everywhere marks of the dictatorship.
Okay, dhe pyetja që na vjen gjithë pse ne duhet i shohim, pse nuk duhet t'i fshim nga mendja të kaluarën, pse nuk duhet të fshim nga mendja diçka të cilën na ka bërë që të vuajmë, pse duhet vizitojmë pikërisht këto vende, dhe është e drejtë si pyetje.
So many of you may ask why. Why do we have to see these things? Why do we have to remember the things and the periods that made us suffer so much? And that's a very good question.
Ne në kohët që po jetojmë duke përjetuar shumë konfliktin në Ukrainë, që nuk është një konflikt midis Ukrainës dhe një vendi tjetër, po mendimin tim është një konflikt midis dy botëve. Pra aty po luftohet me dy sisteme shoqërohet totalitare dhe diktatoriale dhe botës tjetër, le të themi sistemi tjetër që është sistemi në të cilin jetojmë dhe aspirojmë që të jetojmë shumë gjatë, që është ai demokratik, ai evropian, ai i një bote të lirë, ku njerëzit janë të lirë të zgjedhin, të shprehen, ku fjala nuk pret, ku fjala nuk pritet, ku njerëzit nuk vriten, edhe nuk torturohen dhe nuk dënohen, sepse thonë pikërisht ato që mendojnë. Pra, unë besoj që sot, më shumë se kurrë, nëse ne deri në vitet 80-90 kemi jetuar për gati 30-40 vite luftën e ftohtë, tani besoj jemi duke përjetuar një luftë tjetër, që është një tjetër luftë e ftohtë midis sistemeve, ato që janë sisteme totalitare në botë dhe sistemeve demokratike. Ndaj dhe
nowadays we are all living with the conflict in Ukraine, with the war in Ukraine, and that's why it's very important to learn from the past. This is not a war just between two countries, but it's a war between two systems, the totalitarian system and the democratic, the European system.
Shumë të rinj sot mendojnë që ky diktator është më mirë, jetohet shumë më mirë atje, ose kur ne ishim si ai, ose aspirojnë të vijon Korejnë e Veriut, sistemi që ato kanë, ndërkohë që nuk dinë se si jetohet në një regjim, nuk dinë se si jetohet në një diktaturë, ndaj dhe ajo çfarë ka ndodhur në Shqipëri, pra ato 45 vite të cilët kanë në gjurmë dhe shenjë, unë e kam imagjinuar le të themi si një diçka e cila duhet me patjetër vizituar mbi të gjitha nga brezat, nga të rinjt, për të kuptuar kush është diferenca midis dy botëve. Okay.
So all this was created mainly for young people to visit, for young people to know what's the difference between the two systems. We hear every day people complaining about free speech and everything else, and people who aim for totalitarian systems, but they don't really know how these systems are, how you live under these systems. So this is one of the things that we aim to do with this kind of tourism, to make them know what is for real living in a dictatorship system, a dictatorship country, an isolated one.
Padyshim që sistemi kjo bota e që ne jetojmë, ky demokratik mbasi nuk është më perfekt në botë.
Perhaps the democratic world where we live today, maybe it's not the most perfect in the world, but it's still.
Por unë besoj që është më i miri.
But he believes that this is the best.
Kështu që kthimi i këtyre objekteve në atraksione, në thonjza, për të vizituar nga të gjithë, do ishte një gjë shumë e bukur për njerëzit për të kuptuar dhe për të mos harruar atë që ka ndodhur më parë dhe për në mënyrë që të bëjmë dhe ne si shoqëri zgjedhjet e duara, le të themi.
So turning all these objects into museums or places that the tourists can visit, we want to make possible for people to see, to make the difference, to see what's like to live in a democratic and free country and what's like to live in a dictatorship system. So, and then everybody can make his own choices.
Sigurisht Shqipëria sot nuk janë vetëm këto objekte që
of course, today Albania doesn't have only these objects.
Shqipëria ofron shumë më tepër,
Albania offers much more.
Një det të mrekullueshëm.
We have beautiful beaches, beautiful landscapes, lakes, rivers, mountains.
Vendi është zhvilluar patjetër.
Of course, in this more than 30 years, the country has developed much more.
Por është nga të paktet vende, mos themi që I vetmi, në të cilin mund t'i gjesh të dyja.
Albania may be one of the few countries where you can find both sides.
Pra mund gjesh dhimbjen e atyre 40-45 viteve të diktaturës, grina të botën e zeza të botën e errët, dhe gjithë pjesën tjetër çdo gjë tjetër që është ndërtuar mbas viteve 90, pra që i përket botës në cilën ne po jetojmë.
So through these objects you can find the dark side of our past, you can find the great, the suffering, but you can also find everything that's been constructed the last 30 years that's beautiful with lights and with hope.
Ne dhe besoj që kjo ofertë turistike, edhe se pak e dhimbshme, unë besoj që është unike dhe e vetme.
So I believe that even if this kind of tourism may sound a little bit bitter, but it's unique and his purpose is it's a good one.
Kështu që unë juftoj që ta vizitoni Shqipërinë.
So we invite you all to visit Albania.
Për atë që ka qenë dje.
For what it has been yesterday.
Për atë që sot.
For what it is today.
Dhe për të kuptuar për atë që do jetë nesër.
And to understand the possibilities that Albania has, what kind of country it can become.
Dhe mbi të gjitha për të kuptuar dhe për të mos harruar kurrë.
And of course the main purpose is to learn, to remember and never to forget.
Jo por ne, por më tepër për brezat e rinj që janë duke ardhur.
For the new generations. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like
to një video.
We would like to invite you to watch together a video where we explain, where you can see better what everything is about.
Thank you.
The video, please.
Any questions? Someone that want to add something?
Why now? Why you don't start to present something before?
Because it was the
Pse inicia tani dhe jo më parë këtë gjë?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I just want to understand why you start to present this kind of tourism for understanding people now. Why you waiting a long time? Why you start just some few years ago?
Sepse mbase edhe për të kuptuar ca gjëra kërkohet kohë dhe maturi. Dhe mbase ky koncept, kjo ide u maturua dhe u kuptua pikërisht 30 vite mbasi ne kishim dalë nga ky sistem. Mbasi unë personalisht, se I kam jetuar pak ashtu të dyja, të kisha shkuar të kisha jetuar disa vite jashtë, pastaj të rikthehesh sërish, sepse sot gjërat I mendojnë shumë ndryshe, sepse sot kemi një luftë në Ukrainë, cila këtë argumente bën akoma më prekës. Kemi nga një anë Korenë e Veriut, nga një anë Kinën, domethënë sot më shumë se kurrë unë besoj që ky risk midis këtyre dy botëve, ose më mirë kjo luftë midis këtyre dy botëve është bërë gjithmonë dhe më e egër dhe është koha për vendosur në cilën anë duhet jemi të historisë.
Because some things they require their own time. Maybe just now he had the experience, and now he had the idea of doing this kind of tourism. Thinking also of the latest events in Ukraine, it made him understand that's immediate to show to the other people how dangerous a dictatorship system it is. He has lived both systems. He has lived in Albania during dictatorship system. He has lived for many years in Italy. He saw both two sides, and it took him time to grow and to have this idea and to make everything together till now.
Për çdo gjë duhet koha e saj, domethënë, mbasi ne si shoqëri na u desh kjo kohë për t'u vetësuar, që është vetdije dhe kjo për t'u ndërgjegjësuar, domethënë është.
Maybe it took us a little bit too long, but just now we are conscious of what happened, what we can learn from it. Till now we were very busy of regaining all the lost years during dictatorship system. We were busy on building our lives, our country, and just now we have the conscious and the responsibility to show what happened.
Na ndodh shumë herë që të shohim të rinj që dashurojnë lider autoritar në botë që thonë wow, ky është një lider I fortë. Unë do doja që të ishte lideri im, dhe kjo gjë më prek jashtëmasë.
He often, when he travels around in Europe, he listens random conversations of young people who say, who are fans of political leaders who have, without mentioning names, of course, who have, let's say, who are a little bit totalitarian and extremist, and they say, wow, I want that to be the leader of my country. He's a great leader, he's a good leader, a strong one.
Rreziku është që edhe vendet tona evropiane të pjellin se her pas here lindin, le themi, lider autoritar, dhe pikërisht ata të rinj nesër se janë votues shkojnë dhe ti votojnë, dhe ky është risk. Ndaj është shumë e rëndësishme që të kthehen mbrapa, të shikojnë çfarë ka ndodhur ne për të kuptuar vërtet nëse vërtet ai lider autoritar, ose për të kuptuar më mirë çfarë thotë autoriteti.
There are everyone has their own point of view of everything, political and social things, but those people who are fans of these leaders, they have the right of the vote. Tomorrow they can vote someone here in European countries, and this is dangerous for the European Union and everything. So when they see these things, they understand better what does it mean to live with a dictator, what does it mean to live under a dictatorship system. Then everyone makes his choices, but they just see things on TV and everything looks beautiful and strong and powerful when you are young. But when you face this reality, you understand better what does this mean.
And the museum is only in one part of a city, or there are many places. And what kind of material you can see?
Albania is full of these places. You can find them in every village, in every city, prison. Okay. There are more than 700,000 bankers in Albania.
I kanë pushuar në kohë $2 miliardë, ndërkohë që njerëzit nuk kishin ku të hanin, dhe ka ndodhur pak a shumë ai që po ndodh sot në kimjakun në Korenë e Veriut. Pra njerëzit nuk kapën ngrënë dhe ai shkon dhe zhvillon armë.
Okay. During our dictatorship system, people were starving, were striving for living, and our dictator spent $2.2 billion to build all these bunkers for an imaginary war, paranoias. We know how dictators, so how their head works, what they think. They have underground tunnels, tunnels in the mountains, crazy stuff while the people were starving. Pretty much the same that's happening in North Korea. They are launching rockets, but the people, we know how, in what kind of conditions they live. And we need peace. We need to develop even more. We don't need war. Nobody needs war.
In the museum, you can find some video in past.
You can find videos. You can find objects. The one of the museum is bankart. Is a museum that will send you in this period. You will find documents, you will find pictures, objects. But in Albania, you will find also buildings, apartments that are built during the communism period. There is a coexistence of this period and the modern period. They are now part of each other. In every country, in every place, in every city.
So there are buildings almost in every neighborhood where you walk and you can see with your eyes and touch with your hands all that period that gives you a feeling of grey, of bitterness. And some meters away you will find new buildings, modern ones with lights, everything created in the past years. So they coexist. And there, in the same neighborhood, you can see the two worlds at once, the past and the present. And there's a big difference.
Le themi që oferta ndryshe në këtë tip turizmi, degë turizmi ta quajmë, është e bukur sepse ka dy objektive. E para sigurisht ato turistike, dhe objektivi i dytë është ka një objektiv edhe shoqëror brenda, edhe edukues brenda, edhe ka mesazh shumë të fortë brenda.
This kind of tourism aims for two things: the touristic part and the social and the educational part. So it's beautiful, the whole thing, what we want to reach.
Do you organize an itinerary or a tour or some indication for visit some places?
Unë e prisa këtë pyetje. Ky është një prezantim në vija shumë gjëra, cilin ne ja bëjmë botës. Dhe ky prezantim nuk mund të bëj më mirë askund tjetër përveç se Berlinit. Për arsye se Berlini ka përjetuar vetë luftën e ftohtë, ndajemi dy qyteteve. Ndaj dhe fillimisht ne prezantuam si ide, dhe kjo ide sigurisht që ka nevojë të zhvillohet, por ne kemi të gjitha potencialet që ta çojmë përpara duke krijuar oferta të detajuara turistike për të gjithë grupmoshat, në mënyrë që le të themi kjo ide që ne sot po prezantojmë të konkretizohet në kohë, dhe më mendoj brenda një viti, duke na nënçuar dhe themi një risi, një diçka të re dhe unë besoj, jam shumë shpres plot që do ecë përpara dhe do ketë një vazhdimsi.
This is a project that we are introducing here at ITB Berlin because we think that it's the perfect place to do it because of its purpose. Also because here Berlin has lived the Cold War, some separation in the middle to different system, lifestyles, economic prosper, and so on. And within a year, everything will be ready with detailed programs and everything else.
Jo gjithmonë qeverit duhet të ngatrohen ose të jenë brenda iniciative personale, ndaj dhe ne jetojmë botë të lirë. Mua më pëlqen kjo botë pikërisht për këtë, sepse ne mund bëjmë atë çfarë mendojmë, por unë besoj që qeveria jo sigurisht që e mbështet këtë gjë, siç e dini ne kemi një qeveri demokratike të lirë, siç e dini Shqipëria aspiron të bëhet sa më shpejt pjesë e Bashkimit Evropian, pra pjesë e kësaj bote, kësaj familje të lirë dhe me patjetër e mbështet, nuk bëhet fjalë këtë iniciativë.
This is an initiative of his personal initiative. He has the pleasure of creating all this, and that's what he was talking about, a free world where you can put in action your knowledge, you can take your own initiatives and so on. He loves this world, the way that things work, and of course our government supports every initiative. As you know, Albania aims to be part of the European Union. We have gained the status of the candidate. Tourism is very important in Albania. And
e ardhmja jonë është drejt Evropës, kjo është ideja dhe patjetër qeveria jonë, kjo që është tani dhe çdo qeveri tjetër që do vinë nesër, shkon dhe i mbështet iniciativa.
Our path is toward the European Union, and of course every Albanian government, the actual one, and anyone that will come next will always...
E ardhmja tashmë e Shqipërisë është shkruar shumë e qartë. E ardhmja jonë është drejt BE-s, do bëjmë patjetër pjesë, unë shpresoj sa më shpejt, po.
We hope that we will be part of the European Union as soon as possible and to support personal initiatives and to live in a free world, a peaceful one.
Një diçka të fundit është shumë e rëndësishme, nëse ju, pra bota juaj të huajt, do kenë mundësinë ta studion dhe ta prekin të kaluarën tonë, do ta kenë më të lehtë për të kuptuar Shqipërinë dhe shqiptarët, pse mbase edhe të na falin sa mëkatet vogla.
If foreign people they study a little bit our past and they try to understand our past and our history, they will also understand better Albanians and their characters and also will forgive us some little sins, let's say.
Është një vend që ka vuajtur shumë të 100 vitet e fundit.
It's a country that has suffered a lot the past 100 years.
I think this is a great initiative, and if I would come to Albania right now, is there a tour already I can take, or do I have to do it individually? Do I have to go to these places individually, or is there already some sort of a tour that I can book to make it easier?
Okay.
Or when is that happening?
Nesër në Shqipëri, këto vende duhet vizitoj vetë privatisht apo ka një tur që unë mund ta bëj?
Nëse vini nesër, ne do jemi shumë të lumtur t'ju shoqërojmë personalisht aty në çdo vend që ju do doni të vini, ju personalisht. Nëse bëhet fjalë për nesërme pak më të largët, dhe nëse bëhet fjalë për grupe më të mëdha njerëzish, unë besoj që brenda një viti ne, siç u thash edhe më parë, do jemi më të organizuar për të bërë ture specifike, le të themi, dhe për të ndjekur e për të vizituar të gjitha këto atraksione.
If you come tomorrow, he would be happy to do the tour to you personally. If you are talking about the upcoming times on the large group of people, we believe that within 1 year we will be ready with some detailed programs and guided tours dedicated to the tourism of dictatorship history in Albania.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your family, have you touched in the past by the dictator to this kind of idea right now?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Sorry.
Gjyshim ka vdekur në burg.
His grandfather died in jail.
Vdiq sepse ishte i pasur.
He died in jail because he was rich.
Një ditë bukur vajtën dhe e morën në shtëpi dhe e burgosën dhe brenda një viti e gjysë ai vdiq nga nuk ja doli, thonë që dhe kanë torturuar. Më pas babai im jo, çuditërisht ai mori një rrugë tjetër, u bë komunist. Nuk u përsekutua. Le të themi që ka punuar për regjim, po në vijat gjera unë them që tërë familja shqiptare, çdo shqiptar ka qenë përsekutuar ato 45 vite. Ndaj dhe kush më shumë, kush më tepër, le të themi është prekur nga histori.
We know how dictatorship systems work. Everybody is equal, and they took all the riches of rich people. One day they went and arrested his grandfather, put it in jail, and within 1 year he didn't survive. They used to say also that he got tortured. But Dritan believes that every Albanian family is touched by this system. Otherwise, he's dead now. His father worked for the system. Maybe he did that to survive. He adapted with the situation and the system. But every Albanian family has consequences of the system. You're welcome.
Thank you.